Hello friends, Those Back Pages here. I hope you're well. Next week is the National, the show, the Super Bowl of hobby. I cannot wait until next week. I cannot wait to see each and every one of you. Please say hello to me if you do see me. There may be it may happen that we do not run into each other. That happened in 2019, I think, or 2018 with a couple of you, and it just goes to show you how massive the show is. So, this will probably be my last episode before the National. I might try to sneak one more in if I have some mail come in that I want to show off, or if any other ideas come to my head. But for the last few weeks, as I've mentioned before, I've really gotten into the hockey. And I get it, hockey's not for everyone. But, on January 1st, 2020, I said I'm going to collect some Messi cards. And, that was also not very popular at the time. So you never know what tomorrow is going to bring. It's always good to share your knowledge. Always learning, keep learning, and all that good stuff. You can never know too much about the hobby. I'm going into this year's show with probably as open mind as I've ever had as far as collecting. I know more now than I did yesterday. I certainly know more today than I did last year at this time. And I hope to have that keep going forward. But tonight we're going to talk about hockey. Very excited to show you some cards, give you a very, very, very brief history of hockey cards. Very brief. I am far from an expert. I don't claim to be. I used to be a huge hockey collector back in the 90s. But let's get on with the show and show you some cards. So obviously you've got 48 Parkhurst, Gordie Howe. I don't have his rookie. 66 Bobby Orr tops. It was the only game in town. I don't have his rookie. Those two cards are very costly. I don't foresee myself owning them, but you never know. But I did want to start with this 79 tops Gordie Howe. This was his last playing days card. 30 plus years later from his rookie. And this is the tops version. There's an O-Pee-Chee I do not have. Might have to pick that up, but I will forever swear that is Wayne Gretzky in the background. Certainly looks like him. That looks like a 9. Tops may have airbrushed it a little to change the player's appearance. I don't know. But I've always said that looks like Wayne Gretzky. It's kind of a passing of the torch, in hockey world, to the next one, the great one, Wayne Gretzky, who appeared in the same set. This is the O-Pee-Chee version. So he appeared in the same set. This is the tops version. Fronts are the same. Card stock is different. White or bleached backs on the O-Pee-Chee versus the tops. Very happy to have those in the collection. So Wayne Gretzky went on. He did his thing. You've had people come and go. You had the great Steve Yzerman. This I'm showing, it's his O-Pee-Chee rookie. I don't own his tops. This I'm showing because I actually pack pulled this myself and had it graded myself. I pack pulled this probably back in 1986. I did buy a wax box from a local flea market that I can picture in my mind that is long bulldozed and replaced. But there's a 48 pack of top. I was 48 packs in the box, and I'm 99% sure I paid $6 for the box, because in 1996, hockey was not very popular as far as the hobby goes. So happy to have that in the collection. A fine 9. It's a very good card. Great for that card. So then we have the next one will be the Magnificent Mario. Well, Magnificent Mario. Not much needs to be said about Mario Lemieux. If you're not familiar with hockey, but Wayne Gretzky, you should know Mario Lemieux. That's his O-Pee-Chee rookie. Here's his Topps rookie. Again, the fronts are the same. Like the Gretzky, the cardstock on the back is different. Lighter, more bleached on the O-Pee-Chee. Next up, in my opinion, the greatest goalie of all time, Patrick Waugh. Topps rookie. I do not own his O-Pee-Chee rookie, and actually that's one that's on the radar for myself for the show. This was pack pulled by myself and submitted. I find it's an 8.5. It's very well centered. Reason I say he's the greatest goalie of all time, because what he was able to do from the mid 80s to the mid 90s, when hockey was 8 goals a game, is just fantastic. Smaller equipment, different times, that's all. Different time in the world for sure. So then we have the 90s, when everything exploded, and the birth of the junk wax era and all that other stuff. And we had an 88 Score made baseball, and then in 1990 they entered the hockey card market. First round draft pick Jaromir Jagr, Score rookie American. I say that because there's a Score rookie American, and then there's a Score rookie Canadian, and they're basically the same. It's not bilingual, but the logo is red versus blue for Canadian and American. Just Score and Score Canadian. I don't think they actually just called it Score American. They just called it Score. Now, obviously Jagr and Brodeur, 2 Hall of Fame. Well, Jagr finally retired, I think, in 2018, 2017. Both Hall of Famers. But the key to 1990 Score and what put it on the map was the Eric Lindros card. Now, this is his Score Canadian. I don't have a graded copy of his Score. I should probably remedy that. It's not inexpensive. It's like a $10 slab. It's not. This was the card. This was popularity wise, not financially, but this was the 89 Upper Deck Griffey of hockey. You ripped these hoping to get Lindros. I couldn't even tell you how many 1990 Score packs, boxes I opened that year, the year after. Should probably rip one just for funsies. I mean, there are no hits. There's no autographs. The year after this, they had Bobby Orr autographs in it, and randomly, very like Score baseball, like Mantle and Yastrzemski and Musial and that type of thing. But this stood on its own, and it's a fantastic. He's in his Oshawa Generals uniform. It's just a fantastic photo. You can, I'm really, really starting to appreciate photography on these financially worthless cards. I mean, you've the puck, the stick, full gear. It's just a fantastic card. I mean, I was talking about this the other day. Look at 90 Score of football, Barry Sanders, Joe Montana. Even in this set, even in the '90s score hockey, you look at the Messier photo. It's a fantastic photo. The Gretzky card #1. It's just a freaking fantastic photo. And I think Grant Fuhrer, you can see the puck. It's just fantastic photography. But speaking of fantastic photography, and what really started it all as far as hockey, in my opinion, goes, is Upper Deck. And they started baseball in '89. Very, very popular. If you're hearing the sound of my voice, you know what the '89 Upper Deck Ken Griffey looks like. I don't need to show you one. Same thing with the high number, Nolan Ryan throwing a football. I don't need to show you one. You know what it looks like. So they put out 1990 Upper Deck hockey, very popular. Oh my goodness, so popular. And then they actually they brought it on another level by releasing this is the French edition, and this is the high number French edition. They had a regular series and they made a high number with updated players and kind of like a Topps treated set. And the reason I'm showing you this box is because it's still sealed. I've owned this for quite a while. Just some fantastic photography. There's Messi with the cup on the box. It says High Series, in English and then in French. Showing you this because upon release, these were $25 a pack. I'm going to repeat that. I was not kidding. These are $25 a pack, and they would sell almost instantly. Now, this is a regular, 12-card pack of Upper Deck hockey. There are no autographs. It's not like Find the Reggie. The later years they put in, the Heroes sets, but there's no chase cards. There's no autographs. There's no material. There's no shiny. It's just the base. It's 12 base cards a pack, and they sold like crazy. I even opened a few myself, just a handful. It was very expensive, $25, because you got to remember the boxes, score boxes were $25, $30 at the time. So you could open one pack or one whole box, and hobby was different in 1990. But I picked this up probably almost 20 years ago just to have one, because just what it represents. And it's just, I'm happy to have it. I mean, they're like $60 now, $75. They're not for the box. Sorry, for the box. So, but with that, the low series has Yager. I didn't bring one out. I should have. But the main point is the high number series, because it brought us, the Fedorov rookie. It brought us the Bure rookie. Now, if you don't know who these guys were, man, you're in for a treat. Just, especially Bure, goal scoring, just a classic design. I mean, they're not free, but I would say these are like $20 each, maybe. I mean, and probably even less if you tried hard enough. But it says it all right there. Even on the flip on the Bure, Young Guns. It's on the card there. It's just not focusing. It says Young Guns on the bottom there. And this is when it started with Young Guns. And Young Guns are unlike anything else. I mean, they're not numbered. There's no autograph. They're not signed. There's no jersey material. There's no, none of that stuff. They're base cards, and these are readily available. I think you could probably. Well, I haven't looked at prices, but if you go to a show, I can't imagine that. You can buy the factory set, $8, $10, maybe $5. Back in the old times, they were $5. that might have gone out. It's like the 91 Final Update Baseball Upper Deck. But, so in 1990 and 91, I think I apologize, I'm not super sharp on this anymore, but there came a time, I want to say 98, 99, maybe with Kovalchuk in 99, or he was 2000. Somewhere around there, they changed the formula. Upper Deck changed the formula a little bit. The set basically was 1 to 250, and the last 50 cards were Young Guns. But the Young Guns were not inserted in the packs at the same rate as the base cards. They're technically base cards, but they're a little tougher. They are generally 1 in 4 packs to this day. There are other formats like fat packs and other formats that are a little tougher, but for the most part, it's 1 in 4 packs. And, you keep that in mind, it's pretty impressive. When you keep that in mind, and over the years they came out with some, I want to say that, and again, I'm no expert, but since 2000, I think they've pretty much represented every rookie card that you would want to have in your collection. Like this is the 2003-4 season, 2003 Upper Deck Bergeron rookie, Young Guns. It says it there, Young Guns. It's card number 204. So basically what they'll do is now, since this is 20 years ago, almost 20 years ago, the base set for Series 1 is 1 to 250, and like I said, the last 50, there's a checklist, and then 49 Young Guns prospect, not as I said prospects, but Young Guns rookie cards. Hockey, other than the lockout season, you have to actually step on the ice before you're allowed to have a card. In 2020, they made an exception because of the pandemic, so what's his face on the Rangers, Lavanier, or however it's pronounced, he was able to have a card in Series 1. But so that's Bergeron. Then of course, I think it was in 2004 there was a lockout. So 2005 they was able to have a double rookie card class. In Series 1, was had the Crosby in it. And this really ushered in a new era, like a new frame of mind, really, because this was raw right out of the gate, day one. I was actually opening these boxes. I came back for a little bit to hockey, and I want to say the boxes were $100, and the Young Guns, the 50 different ones, including the checklist, was 1 in 4 packs. So you would get 6 of them in a hobby box for $100, and this was selling for $125 to $150, raw, right away. The hysteria for Sidney Crosby was out through the roof. And I did pull this one myself. Originally I had graded by BGS, and I did cross it over. Actually, I want to say in Atlantic City, ironically enough. I think it was in Atlantic City last time that I had crossed it over from a BGS 9 to straight over to a PSA 9. So happy to have that in the collection. It's a big card. It's a big card, especially when you consider that it's not signed, it's not no game used material, it's not individually numbered. It's just a base rookie. It's a rookie card, and it's fantastic. And to this day, Upper Deck Hockey, which has issued a set every year, flagship set every year since 1990, is just dynamite. Series 2 featured Ovechkin, which hindsight being what it is, I should have crossed it over back then. I would not pay the fees now required to cross it over. This one I did purchase already graded, and for a long time Ovechkin was not hobby popular. As weird as it is to say now, he was not very hobby popular, and I'm pretty sure that one ran me $50 because it's only a 9. So back then it was very affordable to collect hockey. These two cards are their best unsigned, unmaterial, unnumbered cards. I mean, there's the Cup, which is essentially exquisite hockey, even though that really kind of exists now. I don't really swim in that end of the pool. I like base cards. I like parallels. I like affordable, seemingly. I mean, I guess, now they're not so affordable, but 2006 had brought us Malkin, Crosby's longtime teammate, in 1,100 points club and rising. And that's another thing about these two fellas, that because of the lockout, they both debuted in 2005, and Crosby's missed a bunch of time due to concussion injuries and stuff. Ovechkin's been relatively healthy his whole career, and right now, I should have written this down, but I did not. Right now, Ovechkin is 20th all-time in scoring, and then 1 point behind him is Crosby at 21st all-time scoring. So they've played, the same amount of years. Crosby's played a lot less games, but they are literally, and obviously Ovechkin has a crap ton more goals, but they are 1 point separate them all time on the scoring list. So barring any injuries this upcoming season, they'll both be in the top 15 in scoring all time. It's just, they're connected at the hip, and they always will be. It's just fantastic. 2006 also had Phil Kessel, who's pushing the 1,000-point barrier himself. Probably get it next year, or the year after. Another Young Guns. 2007 brought us Patrick Kane, Jonathan Taves, both fantastic players. Kane, an American. Taves is Canadian. So happy to have those, and these I've all had many years. I bought most of these. I couldn't even tell you how long ago. 2008 was Stamkos. Speaking of tied to the hip, from 2009 is Jonathan Tavares, sorry. And when he fleeced, he basically walked out on the Islanders, but that's another, they're both probably, Stamkos for sure will pass the 1,000-point mark this year, and Tavares, if not this coming year, then the year after. He's up there. So, what kind of brought me back after a few years, and I do this, if you've watched my crap long enough, I bounce everywhere, but it's good to bounce everywhere and keep it fresh. So what brought me back again? After that, I stopped with the hockey for a while, and then what brought me back again was the Avalanche having the number 1 draft pick in 2013, and that was Nathan MacKinnon. Here's his Young Guns. It's 2013-14 season, Series 1. And by this time, Upper Deck, was putting more stuff in. A couple years prior, they started a Young Guns and regular card canvas insert, not a parallel, because they're numbered different and the pictures are different. So it's not technically a rookie card because it's an insert card, but it's still extremely popular. And they started these in 2011. And what I really like about... Were they doing it then? They were. But what I really like about what Upper Deck does is they tell you on the back what it's from. And it's a little dark, but 13-14 Upper Deck Hockey Series 1. So they tell you what it was from. Very happy to have that in the collection. They also have another canvas chase parallel. At least it used to be canvas. I don't know if it still is. This was from Series 2. This is a program of excellence that features young Canadian players, which most of, they weren't doing canvas back then, but if they were, there'd be a Crosby, and I'm sure they've done some kind of retro insert of it. But the odds are very tough on these. So. And again, but I bought these when they came out, so everything is relative. And McKinnon came. He had a decent rookie season, and I lost favor again. Started doing something else like I always do, and at the time in 14, the hockey world was told, this kid McDavid, this guy is the next Crosby. This guy is that good, and all right, let's see. He comes into the league. I think he started off really well, but season ended early due to injury. And that he was the highlight of 15 Upper Deck Series 1. I didn't open any. 16 came around. He did very well. So after the 17 season, I said, all right, it's time to pay attention. And then in Atlantic City, Chicago in 17, I went ahead and picked up his Young Guns. And funny about this is that probably 6 weeks prior to the National that year, I had lost out on a PSA 9. And, it's funny to think now with hindsight and everything else, but, this card was very difficult at the time to find in a 9. The 9 hate in the mid teens, 2000 teens, was extremely high, even worse than it is now. So that card in a 9 was tough to obtain in a PSA 9, so I buckled down and paid up for the 10. I mean, now hindsight, obviously it's quite different, but I paid probably about 20% of what it's worth now, maybe more, I'm not sure, but different times. So that kind of catches you up as far as, and these all have, like the 3 cards you see in front of you, these are the rookie cards. There are parallels. For the Crosby and the Ovechkin, they made a UD exclusives numbered to 100, and then an HD or high gloss that's numbered to 10. I mean, those are even the exclusives, something that's numbered to 100, and I'm going to talk about that here in a second. But for reasons I cannot explain, last month maybe even the beginning of this month, more like I think the end of the last month, I started talking to a friend of mine, Shane, Shoebox Legends. I think I mentioned his channel last time. And we started talking about hockey because, I have some friends that collect hockey. I don't have a lot, but started talking about it again because I just feel it's underappreciated right now. And so, long story short, we started talking again about hockey, and I start looking, oh, that looks nice. Let me look that up. Oh, that looks nice. Let me look that up. So, he's, oh, this card looks nice. Yeah, that does. Let me pick that up. And then I was able to get, this is a 2016 Connor McDavid canvas, which looks totally different, and it's got, him silhouetting in famous upper deck fashion. And I won this at auction because it's a PSA 9. It was $15. Probably struggled at a raw copy for that. It was embarrassing how cheap it was. And happy to have that in the collection. Really nice photograph on the back. This is his second year card. I'm a big fan of second, even third year cards for these guys. These upper echelon guys in the hobby and in the sport actually itself. So I learned that let's see, the canvas, stick to the canvas stuff. I learned that, hey, they make legends. It's like, oh wow, okay, they make legends. Now, your basic, like this one, your basic upper deck canvas is like 1 in 7, 1 in 8 packs. Might have gone up this year. 1 in 7 packs. So, you get 3, 4 of these in a box, and I think it's like generally don't hold me to, but I think it's a 90 card set for the veterans, the base veterans. They make upper deck, they make Young Guns canvas, which is I think 1 in 45 or something. Parallels all the inserts of all the top prospects, and yeah. But they also it seems to be every year from now, Series 2, they'll put in these legends. They'll make 8 or 10 of them. Bobby Orr, Gordie Howe, etc. Of course, Gretzky. So, 2016, the same year as that McDavid I showed, I went ahead and picked up, I splurged a little for myself, and I picked up this Gretzky in a PSA 10, which I normally don't do. There are no 9s available, but I wanted to have one of these. It's just a great looking card, and the thing with these legends is that these are 1 in 8 boxes. They're not 1 in 7 or 8 packs, they're 1 in 8 boxes. So they're much tougher to get. I think that's, as time passes on, I think that is lost on people. I think that, essentially one of these per case, and there's usually 10 different players, so, not that easy to get. And it's even better when they're in a non-gem slab and they go to auction, because then you win a PSA 9 Lemieux from the same 2016 Legends 1 in 8 boxes set for $12. I mean, that's just insane to me. A raw copy's like 20 or 30 bucks, but let's buy a PSA 9 for 12. Because, 9s are, anything not gem mint is bad. So I've been trying to pick up here and there numbered stuff, or stuff that is not numbered but is tough, kind of like with baseball, kind of like the flagship image variation type stuff. So, like I always tell you guys, shoot your shot, send out offers. I was able to pick this up for the price of a blaster. It's 2018 exclusive UD exclusives. It says it there on the bottom, and it's numbered to 100. This is number 76 of 100 for Crosby. A lot of these Crosby, I've got some common canvas stuff coming in that talk more about that next time. But a lot of his images are fantastic over the years. But yeah, this is numbered to 100 for the price of a blaster. This is a hobby only, so you can't get that in a blaster because it's hobby only. Let's see. Another thing that Shane turned me on to in the hobby for hockey are these parallels called clear cuts. Now, Shane's a big acetate guy, and so these are see-through. You can kind of see right there in the background. Yeah, that's even better. You can see. Kind of tells you clear cut there on the back. These are roughly, 1 in 3 boxes, something like that. 1 card. And this clear cut parallels the entire base set, including Young Guns. So it's a much, 3 times as large as the canvas set, and, much more difficult to obtain. So these are kind of like, whereas I would say these are equivalent, these exclusives, and by the way, they started these exclusives in 1998, numbering them to 100. Some of the years after, they're numbered to 50, or for the most part, they're numbered to 100. And so as time goes by, they're a lot more difficult to find. And I put these on the same level, almost kind of like Flagship Black. Obviously, they're numbered to 100, not as scarce as Flagship Black, and these are kind of like, these are not numbered, so we don't know how many there are. And another time I'll go into the whole E-Pack thing, because I actually want to talk to Upper Deck about that next week. These are kind of like Topps Gold. I don't know if the print run on these is 2000. I don't know if it's that high, but they started these in, I want to say 2015, the year that McDavid started. Not 100% on that. I'm sure Shane can correct me in the comments, or someone. But these are fantastic. They're acetate. I won't do it with that one. But here is a Makar. This will be easy to show. It's plastic. It's acetate. It's like those 92 classic hockeys. It's plastic essentially. So yeah, and I think part of what brought me back to hockey is that the Avalanche won the Stanley Cup. And this fella here was probably the main reason. His rookie card is from 2019. He's in this set. I don't own one yet. It's not cheap, so we'll see. I might be targeting that at the show. But these are his clear cut. They changed it a little bit. 2020. This is his second year card, and this is his 21 current card, third year. So you can see they mixed it up a little. 2020, kind of cooler with the image on the back versus white silhouette. But again, these are not easy to they're not they're not easy nor difficult. I don't know, kind of in between. But very happy to have those in the collection. And then was able to add, his 2020 exclusives. You can see it there in the bottom. It's numbered to 100. And his 21 exclusives the year he won the Cup and the Norris Trophy and the Conn Smythe. And, he's 23 years old. He'll be 24 in October. I think it's October. Yeah. October 30th, he'll be 24. So I think he has a bright future ahead of him. And, these are numbered to 100. So, there's a high gloss. Actually, I think ComC just listed a high gloss of this for like $400, numbered to 10. But, they're gold foil. It says, I don't think it's going to make out, but it says UD exclusives on the stripe there. Doesn't say clear cut but they're plastic, so you can tell. But I'm very happy to have these in the collection. Yeah, the cards, individually numbered cards you can't lose really. Depending, obviously, if it's a scrub, it's a scrub. But this is gold versus the base card is not. I think the base card is just silver on that. In some of the years it's foil. I mean, obviously they've cut back with the current world events and everything, but very happy to have these in the collection. I mean, these are very happy to have those. I did not expect to find those, and I was able to find them, and that's part of the fun of it all. So I hope you learned something. I get it. It's not hockey is hockey. It's not for everyone, but it should be. And we never know. Never know. Might never take off. Might take off. Who knows? I know those 3 cards in front of you there. They sure have taken off.